Hi guys, Daz here with another episode of my comic book print runs. This time it is episode 3. And this time I'm going to be discussing books that came out in November of 2018. Let's have a look at what we got. Now remember, the higher the print run, probably in most cases, it's not going to be worth so much. The lower the print run, you're going to get a bit of value because they're obviously rarer books. Not always the case, but the majority of the time. So here are the initial orders. Estimated print runs for November 2018 and 37 of the highlights down below. And I'd like to thank Brian Springman, who is the moderator at Comic Book Facts, for a lot of this information. To start with, we have at number 1, Web of Venom, Carnage Born, issue 1. There were 3 covers. There was 104,289 copies of that book made, of which there was a 1 in 100 incentive from Kyle Hotz, and it was a virgin cover, and that had just 1,040 copies. And at number 2 we have Amazing Spider-Man 10. That had 4 covers. That has a print run of 106,636. There was a J. Scott Campbell Virgin 1 in 100 incentive at 1,066 copies or less. In at number 3, we all have this one, Catwoman, issue 5. That was the stunning art Germ B cover included in that. There were 2 covers, obviously. You can pretty much split them. There was 50,131 of those. So you're talking roughly 25,000 for the art Germ B cover. Wonder Woman 58, there were 3 covers. There was a Jenny Friesen B cover, of course. There was a 44,467 print run on that. In at number 5, Immortal Hulk, number 9. And that had the first appearance of the One Below All. 2 covers for that. There was a 41,398 print run. Obviously, you've got to split that in half. Okay, for the year, 2 covers. Iron Heart, number 1, isn't it? 6. And that had 7 covers. It's getting silly, isn't it? 7 covers. Iron Heart, number 1. And then included in that, there was a Stephanie Hans 1 in 50 incentive. Now, there were 40,739 copies of Iron Heart, so pretty low, and of which there were just 814 copies of the Stephanie Hans 1 in 50 incentive, which is a nice book to have. I was on the lookout for that. Wonder Woman 59, again, there was a Jenny Friesen cover B, 37,418 copies of that book. Up next, we have Batgirl, issue 29, of course, the stunning work from Joshua Middleton, my man, there were on his cover B. So there were 35,356 copies of Batgirl 29, so roughly about 18,000 on the Middleton cover B, which is nice. Black Order 1, there were 3 covers, 32,532, of which there was a 1 in 50 incentive cover from In Hyuk Lee, and of that there was only 650 copies of that book. And at number 10 we have Deathstroke 37. Of course, Martina does the cover Bs on those. 30,734. So roughly around 15,000 for Martina's cover B. And at 11, Spider-Man Enter the Spider-Verse issue 1. There were 3 covers. 29,623 copies, of which there was a 1 in 10 animation incentive at 2,960 copies or less. Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue 28, 2 covers. Of course, Yasmin Putri is doing the cover Bs on that. 24,485, so roughly 12,000 for Putri. Spider-Girls 2, there were 2 covers, 23,189 copies. And there was a Gang Hyuk Lim 1 in 25 incentive at 925 copies or less. Domino 8, you know that stunning Morbius cover we had. 21,050 copies. So that's a nice one to have, guys. Anything around the 20,000 and less is fantastic. Middle West, the recent one from Image Comics, made by Scotty Young. There were 3 covers. 20,803, of which there was a George A. Corona 1 in 10 incentive at 2,080 copies. and a 1 in 20 incentive from Scotty Young at 1,040 copies. Bitterroot, I missed that one, I didn't really fancy it, but I know a lot of you did get it. There were 5 covers, 18,662. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, issue 33, there were 4 covers, 15,843, of which there was a Linda Litton 1 in 25 incentive at 630 copies or less. Outer Darkness, again, I didn't pick that one up, many of you did. 2 covers for that, nice book to have, 13,767. This is a real interesting one now. Dead Rabbit. You know, everyone's been looking for Dead Rabbit because it's been recalled. Well, issue 2 I'm talking about now, there were 2 covers of 9,761. I've got the regular, I couldn't find the incentive. There is a date, like I said, there's a David O'Sullivan 1 in 10 incentive at 975 copies or less, which is brilliant. Like I say, that had a mandatory recall. Life is Strange. I picked up 2 covers for that because my daughter's a big fan of the game. That was from Titan Comics, and that had 6 covers. Like I said, I picked up the main one, which is the cover A. That's going for some coin. 7,589. So that's a good book. Weatherman, issue 6. There were 4 covers, 7,350, of which there was a Cliff Chiang 1 in 10 incentive at 735 copies or less. And there was a Jerome Opena 1 in 25 incentive at 294 copies or less. At 22, we got Auntie Agatha's Home for Wayward Rabbits, issue 1, 5,751. Issue 20, number 23, Road of the Dead, Highway to Hell. I picked that one up. 8 covers, 5,278, of which there was a Santi Perez 1 in 10 incentive at 525 copies or less. At number 24, we got Venom 3, the 4th printing, 5,027. That had the first full appearance of Null. In at 25, WWE 22, 4 covers, 3,551, of which there was a Raza 1 in 15 incentive at 235 copies or less. 26, Uncle Scrooge, My First Millions, number 2, 2 covers, 3,261, of which there was a Marco Gervasio 1 in 10 incentive at 320 copies or less. These are getting really small now, guys. These are great books to have. 27, Uncle Scrooge, My First Millions 3, 2 covers, 3,194, a Marco Mazzarello 1 in 10 incentive at 319 copies or less. 28, Sukaban Turbo, I picked up the regular, 2 covers, 3,070 is a good one to have. There's a Claire Rowe 1 in 10 incentive at 305 copies or less. Wow. At 29, Night Moves, I picked that one up too. 3 covers, 2,943. There was a Chris Burnham 1 in 10 incentive at 294 copies or less. Dolman Kills the Full Moon Universe, number 4. 4 covers, 1,814 copies. There was a Dan Mendoza nude cover for cover D. 31, Punchline, that book that everyone was trying to chase down. I managed to find one. There were 2 covers, just 1,497 copies. That's a spectacular book to have. The other book, probably the big book of the year with Batman Dan, Rags. And this is issue 2, Rags 2. 2 covers, 1,255. Delighted to have found that. These Savage Shores, the 2nd printing, I have this too. 677. I got 2 of them, brilliant. It has a Tomb of Dracula homage. And finally, Fearscape, issue 1, 2nd printing, 672 copies. There's a Sandman homage cover. 35, Lovetown 0. I think somebody's got me a copy of that. 576. Brilliant. Star's End, picked that up last week. That's a great book to have. 2 covers, 539. 539, that's insane. And finally, Friendo. I know Lyric Magic Moments has this. Issue 1, the 2nd printing, 446. That's a Daredevil homage cover. There's some great ones there. That Star's End, Rags and Punchline are fantastic, I think. And I own them all, so I'm delighted. Hope you have some of these, guys. It was a lot of info to take on board, but I think it's worth it. That's Daz over and out. Bye for now.